This is the X&C Podcast, your Xbox newscast, featuring Colteastwood and Mag, hosting industry interviews and gaming talk live on YouTube every Monday night at 5 p.m. on the West Coast, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. For all of you listening around the world, X&C Podcast is available on demand on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Welcome to the show. Join the chat, hit the like button, and let's get into this week's topics with the Xbox newscast. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy Kwanzaa, happy Hanukkah, happy Mag and Colt X&C Christmas special.
That is right. That is right. Christmas special it is. Bring on the ho-ho-hos, because we know that we want them in here right now. That's starting on Wednesday night, by the way.
I want all the hoes under the tree by midnight.
That's right. No men, all hoes. Let's go. We got a great show for you guys tonight. We got a lot of things to talk about. And you know what? Some people asked me a little bit early on one of my streams. I did some streams on my channel, and people asking, Maggie, you going to give us a Christmas present? Maggie, you going to give us a Christmas present? Yes! As a matter of fact, MAGA Claus is here. And MAGA Claus, that's a different sect of people. Sorry, not MAGA Claus. Whatever. How about we'll just call me Anti-Claus, okay? Yeah. Anti-Claus is here, and listen, I got some presents for you guys tonight. So let's tuck in. Make sure you're nice and warm. Have yourself a nice warm cocoa, and let's get into the show, Colteastwood.
Oh, so nice warm cocoa. Yes, thank you. Everybody, welcome to the show. Thank you, Mag, so much. Thank you for, getting the Christmas. Did you get a Christmas shirt on as well, other than the longest hat I've ever seen?
The longest hat in the history of hats. No, you know what's funny? I left the shirt upstairs, and I'm like, oh, damn it, we started the show. So I'm not going to go take my shirt off. I'm not Alex with his pepperoni nipples. I'm going to stay here with my shirt on. I had a shirt upstairs. It's actually a Kiss shirt for anybody who's not, who doesn't know who they are at the band. And it says Merry Kissmas. And it's
I thought you meant like Hershey's Kiss.
No, like the band, and it's got like all members of the band, and they're all like wearing like Christmas outfits and stuff. It's actually pretty funny. But I left it upstairs.
What's your favorite Kiss song of all time?
Oh, come on, dude. That's really hard because they got some great tunes, man. Detroit Rock City's right up there. Love Gun is a pretty good song. I Want to Hear It Loud is probably my favorite song they've ever done. You know that song? Domino is a great song. Yeah.
I never really got into Kiss growing up. I don't know. I couldn't name one song other than I want to rock and roll all night. Well, and I'm like, I hate that. One. I hate that one. But
that's the big one. But me, I mean, it's Domino and I Want to Hear It Loud are two of the biggest songs I've ever. I saw them live, but I was so drunk when I saw them that I don't remember much of the show. I just remember I remember being carried back to the train about four songs in, and then that was it. And then they threw me on the train, and then that's all I remember. But anyways, yeah, that was a crazy night because Motley Crue opened for them. How was I going to stay sober for Motley Crue? Are you out of your mind? So yeah, that was a wild night. But yeah. Domino's a great song too. I got a man-sized predicament, and it's a big one. Yeah, it's a great opening to a song. So, anyways,
yeah, good old.
Yo, Donnie, calm down.
Kiss sucks.
I mean, they're not great. They're not great. They're just kind of, but they're a rock and roll band. I'll take them. But anyway,
yeah. Sotness says Colt prefers that gangsta shiz. Yeah, so Meg and I both also prefer the gangsta shiz.
I was listening to the new Snoop Dogg album today, Missionary, and it's got 3 absolute bangers on that album, and the rest of it is just okay. It ain't no Doggy Style, I'll tell you that much. Doggy Style is still the quintessential Snoop Dogg album, and possibly in the top 3 greatest hip-hop albums of the 90s would have to be Doggy Style. Right up there with... I would have to go with Wu-Tang Clan, the first one, and Doggy Style. And who else can I throw in there? Who else? I can't say Straight Outta Compton was 87, so that doesn't count.
I'd have to go with Chronic Ice Cube. Was.
Oh no, that was 2000s, wasn't it?
No, The Chronic was 92.
Oh yeah, crap! Well, then that's number one. That's number one.
That's like the godfather of gangster rap.
That's the number one. Yes,
I remember a cold day in November or December. We skipped school to go pick up the Snoop Dogg album.
Yeah, man.
Back then, skipping school, we got my buddy's Datsun. You know those old Datsun pickups, the little ones that only sit 2 people? The 3 of us, like I was in the middle where the stick shift was, so I had a good ride all the way to the mall where there's nothing but like 3 old people because everyone's at school. And we picked up at the record store, we bought the Snoop Dogg album, and I listened to it like for 3 days straight.
I destroyed that album. I destroyed that album. I literally listened to that entire album over and over and over again. But yeah, Dr. Dre's The Chronic, that Doggy Style, and then you got to go back onto the other side. You got Ready to Die from Notorious B.I.G. right up there, and then of course, what else do we have? What else do we have in there?
Lethal
America's
Injection
Most
by
Wanted.
Ice Cube.
Really, I was going to say America's Most Wanted was
but
his
Lethal's
best
my favorite
solo
one.
album.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Javier, you better get that Public Enemy nonsense out of here, okay?
I've never
Their best
listened
album
to...
was
Yeah.
Their best album was It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back. That was back in the 80s. But yeah, I know my hip hop, ladies and gentlemen. Anyways, we're not here for hip hop. We're here for video game.
Yeah, two of the whitest guys on a podcast talking about some of the best gangster rap of the 90s.
Not white. I'm olive.
You're Italian. I forgot. I'm Norwegian. I'm as white as they come with the antlers too.
With
Rantlers.
The yeah.
If anybody knows what Rantlers
I'm
is from, you're my next best friend. If you know what.
You know when someone ever yells that to me, you can actually borrow this one if you want. You can pretend you're Italian for a day, even if you're just whatever. They'll be like, "Hey, white boy," and be like, "I'm olive." Just answer him back like that, and you watch the complete confusion on their face of anybody's face when they say that to you. They'd be like, "What?" It's kind of like the dude at like the GameStop. It's ma'am. Yeah, just turn around and say, "I'm olive." Yeah.
Hey, all I need is a few more moles, and I'll be darker colored. I have so many moles.
Oh my goodness.
yeah, we love it. Mag loves Canadian hip hop, says Charlie Hustle. Yeah.
Let's calm down. There's only like Maestro Fresh West. That was about it. But anyways, let's get into the show, baby.
Yeah,
we got things to talk about.
Let's go. So people are like, let's talk music. We could talk games. We can do everything. But I wanted to start off by just a cold question, super cold. Like, what is one of your favorite Christmas memories? Maybe gaming related. We might have talked about this last year, but I thought maybe I'd give a chance for the audience to write in what their favorite gaming related Christmas memory and give a thought, Mag, of what you received for Christmas that was gaming related, that was super memorable, maybe has a little story attached to it.
I could say that my brother's birthday is on October 30th. That's of course one day before Halloween. So I remember one of the years, one of his birthdays, he got the NES, not the Super NES, the original NES with that came with Duck Hunt and the first Mario Brothers. You know the one? Remember it was the combo cartridge. It had the two games on one.
It was split in half on the.
Yeah. That's right. The split in half with the yeah, exactly. So he got that for his birthday, and then of course Christmas is only about 7 weeks later. So right. So we ended up getting NES games for Christmas, and it was just because you remember in those days, it's not like now. These spoiled brats, they get like 9,000 games. Everything's exposed to everything. It's like pornography. I had to look at like the underwear section of like the Sears catalog, but and the National Geographic. And then these guys nowadays got access to Pornhub and whatever, and millions and millions of pornography. They got stuff everywhere. We didn't have that. Same thing with video games. These kids now, my son, 12 years old, my daughter, 9 years old, they got access to hundreds of games on Game Pass and PlayStation and all this other crap. We had 2 games. 2 games. That's all we got. Duck Hunt. You know what we started doing because we didn't have any other games? We started doing crazy stuff like we would move the couches and hide behind the couch with the gun. And then we would wait for the little duck, and then we would jump out, and then we'd have to do it. So we'd have to create our own game, even though it was still attached by a wire. We had to create our own games because we couldn't afford more than the game that it came with. So what ended up happening is at Christmas, I got the game RC Pro-Am. You remember that game?
Oh,
Dude, that game rocks.
That was crack.
So hard. I got that, and my brother got Double Dribble. You remember the basketball game, Double Dribble? And that's right. And we got Blades of Steel. Of Steel. That's right. Dude,
a great theme song, too. That was like the Canadian masterpiece game for you over there, right? You had the actual fist fighting. So a whole mini game.
it had the fist fighting. It had all kinds of stuff going on. And now the thing is, so we got those 3 games for Christmas, and imagine playing the same game for 7 weeks without access to any other game. And then all of a sudden, we get these 3 brand new games at Christmas, and we stayed awake for days. We would be up till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning in the basement, hiding in the dark because we didn't want our parents to know we were up, and we would sit there and play double dribble for like 7 hours straight. And then, of course, we played RC Pro-Am and whatever else. Yeah.
Remember how realistic that black and white 5-frame slam dunk animation was?
Yes, the single frame shot, and then you see the body going over and do the dunk. Folks, if you don't know what we're talking about, after the show, not during the show, after the show, go check out Double Dribble. It's so awesome. But yeah, dude, it was such an amazing game. We played it for hours and days on end. And then, of course, we also had RC Pro-Am, and it's just like absolutely incredible. And it just blew my mind, man. We weren't into Zelda or anything like that, so those are some of my memories. Now, the funny thing is, my very first video game memory happened at this time of year, and that's something I wanted to actually say tonight, is that this month marks, can you imagine this? This is an announcement I have to make. This month is the 45th anniversary of me playing video games. My uncle and my aunt, for Christmas, somewhere around the Christmas season, bought Pong. Remember Pong with the knobs and all that stuff? And they had like the mahogany one. They got that, and then that's my very first discovery. I was 4 years old, and I discovered Pong. And so now, fast forward to today. We were so old, the
gaming console was actually made out of wood, bro.
No, dude, it really was. It was like a wood panel. Yeah. It was just kind of like, you remember how the Atari 2600?
It was a wood veneer or whatever, right?
Or wood veneer, yeah. Yeah. So it's this year, this week, this month, exactly marks 45 years I have been gaming. The first controller I ever picked up was 45 years ago this month. So yeah, it's my 45th anniversary. I'm going to have a hell of a party for my 50th, I'll tell you that much. So yeah, isn't that wild? That's totally wild. So yeah, so Christmas season always brought a lot of great gaming memories and stuff like that. So what about you, man?
I think I don't know when we got the Intellivision. We didn't have an Atari, and the Intellivision was amazing. So I would think maybe 81 or 82, maybe 83. Maybe my parents got it right around the crash. They weren't like first to get things, and games were incredible on there. And my earliest memory is playing Intellivision baseball and Pitfall. But my Christmas story, which I might have told last year, I asked my parents to get me Blaster Master for Christmas. And I think I saw it in my buddy's Nintendo Power magazine. It looked cool, side-scroller, kind of dual mode, side-scroller tank, over the shoulder, kind of third person, shoot 'em up. And I remember looking at the case, and the case just had like a grid and a weird looking monster. Like the case told you nothing. The game art told you nothing of what the game was, but on the back you had these super small, they're probably this big, super small thumbnail pictures of the game, what they look like. Back then you had to take a picture of the TV to actually get those. But yeah, I mean, I think I might have told the story last year when we were talking about Christmas, how my brother and I shared a room. We were in bunk beds for most of our young years. Up until we were about 10 or 12. And then my dad built the bunk bed. And so when we got older, he chopped them in half.
Nice.
It's funny how my dad is like, he made them out of these huge, like 4x4s, and he chopped them in half and then set the beds down so they're separate beds in each corner of the room. And my brother and I would continue to try to sneak in because we knew we could hear my parents at like 1 a.m. putting all the stocking stuff up. That's when real Christmas happened in my house.
Yeah.
And what my parents did was, Christmas Eve, we'd open a bunch of presents, but the real stuff, what stuff you really wanted was just stuffed in the stocking and just sitting on the fireplace mantle, unwrapped. Like, we knew as young kids that my parents were Santa Claus because they just put the presents right there, not even wrapped. And you were like, this is what mom and dad got us. It was such an amazing memory. And my brother kept trying to sneak up down. For people who missed this last year, my brother, we're really close in age. He kept trying to sneak down the hall. My dad would go, "Get back in bed," like my dad would do. And my dad's voice would just bellow. And he yelled one time, "You get out of that room one more time, and no Christmas is canceled." And my brother's like, "I gotta pee." He goes, "Liar!" So my brother went into our closet and peed in his cowboy boot.
No way.
Because he really had to pee. And I could just hear it, like, that sound. Just filling up to the brim. We had a great Christmas growing up. And one more thing I got to say is when I was about 16, this is how old I am. I really wanted a portable Sony Discman. And like back in like 1990, that was like that was like the thing to have, was a Discman, because everybody had a Walkman.
I was already a man by the time that thing came out.
Well,
I was already a man by the time the Discman came out.
I mean, they had the Discman, I think, in the late 80s, but by 1990 or so, I really, really wanted one. And it was the one time I went into the living room and snuck and looked in my presents. And there was this one package that looked like, because when you bought a Sony Discman, it came in one of those really hard plastic form cases that when you cut them around with the scissors, like it, peels your finger apart. Yeah. Like I don't know what you call that, like a thermopack thing. But anyway, I never sneak looked at my packages or my presents because I didn't want to ruin Christmas. But this time I had to know. And I remember getting under the tree. My mom's downstairs doing something, and I peeled open that packaging, and I knew this was the one, and it was like that plastic and everything. And I got it all the way up where I could see the logo, and it was a Norelco electric shaver.
Yes.
and I didn't even have Peach Fuzz then. I was like, dang it. So yeah, that was
come on, man.
Ruins Christmas, bro. No Discman. I had to buy one when I got my job. So
very good. Daddy Cree from Scotland, welcome to the show. And boy, there's some funny chats in here. I don't know who said it. It says it's pretty sad when your console matches your station wagon. That's a great one. Do I ever want to point? Yeah,
we had one. Back then
pretty much everybody had one. I mean, my neighbor had one with the wood paneling.
Yeah, we had the Oldsmobile Diplomat, which was a mid-sized all-wheel drive station wagon. It was burgundy, or maroon was the color called back then. It was maroon with wood paneling, and my dad put his mags on it because you wouldn't want to be caught dead.
Of course. Look at this. I got an early Christmas present. Ninja Squirrel, scumbag, 45 years gaming and 20 years sucking off PlayStation. Ninja Squirrel, couple things, buddy. Things, buddy. First of all, it's been 30 years of doing that to PlayStation, not 20 years, you dumbass. Okay? Your name is Ninja Squirrel 30. I figure you would have been probably born around the time I was already with your mom, okay? Because, she's probably around the age. I was already a man at that time when PlayStation came out, and I was already having my way with her. So anyways, enjoy that.
You were already popping the disc tray open back then?
Oh, dude, are you kidding me? And he goes, hashtag, you're not one of us, poor man's Gaz. Listen, I would never, for all the money in the world, want to be one of you. That's an absolute fact. I would not be one of you. You seem like a sad, tired little prick.
Oh my!
So tell you what, I can make you feel better because instead of getting a lump of coal, I got a lump in my pants right here. That's a great stocking stuffer for you and your mom this Christmas. So, anyways, have a wonderful, happy holidays and enjoy. I hope kids are not listening.
You can't leave the dad out.
That's for later on if he wants to keep coming back with it. But anyways, sorry, this is a kid show, but I had to just let him have it a little bit. Ninja Squirrel, you are loved. You are loved. Yeah, I don't know by who, but somebody, maybe somebody in the psych ward, but certainly not here. Anyways, enjoy the show.
I think you gave him plenty of love there. Gen X Podcast, thank you so much for the Australian $8 super chat with a thumbs up. Thank you so much for chatting in. Let's talk about games. We got a little bit of news rolling in today. In fact, Mag's got some cool stuff some leaks and rumors to talk about a little bit later in the show. Today we'll start off by talking about what have you been playing, Mag?
Well, funny enough, I've been I've been playing to make people like Ninja Squirrel upset. I've actually been playing Astrobot as a celebration of Game of the Year, just to either make people happy or make people upset, one of the two. I just didn't, whatever, but I've been streaming that on my channel, having a great time. We had a great chat. And you know what's funny? We had people from this chat, a lot of people from this chat were in my chat. And I was like, hey, even like Grandpa Barbecue Cat and all those guys were there, and Noisy Mofo, of course, and Magnum, of course, showed up, and we had Neil B was there, and I can't name everybody because it's but it was great to have him on there. So I've been playing that. Also, because I'm a complete and utter scumbag, Ninja Squirrel 30, I bought on Fortnite, the Mariah Carey skin of her wearing the Santa outfit. Hold on. So she's wearing the Santa outfit with the hat and the red skin tight suit, and she's got like the machine gun and all that stuff. And then guess what happened, ladies and gentlemen? That's right. Only 2 weeks into having a YouTube channel, I already got a copyright strike against me because my son and I won a match, which of course I got the winning kill on the BR. I did the emote, and guess what song it was? All I Want for Christmas Is You, and YouTube hit me with a copyright strike. I mean, I'm not even monetized yet because I crossed 200 plus subs now, so that was pretty fun. It was great, but I'm not monetized, so they actually couldn't hit me with a, you know what I mean, with like demonetizing the video.
Yeah.
So
They just put the flag
hit
on
me
there.
with a strike. They're like, they sent me a little thing saying, "Hey, don't do that." That was basically it. So I'm like, okay, but I mean, so I've been playing Fortnite with Mariah Carey. Just it's just so funny. So I've been doing that, and and my backpack is Skibbity Toilet.
You had to do it.
I bought it. It was $10. I swear to God, I couldn't believe I spent that money. I spent $10 on a Skibbity Toilet backpack. So I have Mariah Carey with Skibbity Toilet on her back. And if you actually look at the thumbnail on my channel, it says Fortnite Skibbity Toilet Mariah Carey. So I've been playing that, having a great time. Marvel Rivals is good, but they got to put a sprint in there. I'm done playing it. I can't do this walking around like a fat guy at like the airport. Like it's just so slow. Like, forget it, man. I can't do it. So I gave up on that. I'm playing Astrobot. I'm playing Stellar Blade, and I'm still chipping away at Indiana Jones. And for now, I've given Call of Duty a little bit of a break. I'll get back into it in the new year with the new season. How about you, buddy? What do you have?
I kind of.
Oh, dude, I've been busy, man.
Yeah, you have been. Yeah, and I checked in on your stream. And you guys were having a good time.
Oh, that's right. Colt came in. Yeah.
Yeah, and your son was talking trash when you missed a couple bad guys, but really cool stuff.
Yeah, man.
I kind of been out of sorts with what games I want to play, and shout out to that blue number in the chat who's got a super chat, who gifted me BioShock Collection because I'm like, I really want to play the whole thing all over again. So bad I even dreamed about playing Infinite last night. So thank you so much to her. I will. Yeah, I've just been kind of meandering around and just kind of super, I don't know, having a good time, just messing around, playing a bunch of games. We were playing the Division 2 with Red Wolf and that blue number and I, and just, I don't know, just kind of hanging out. But it's it's a really good spot to not be like really hooked on a game because Christmas Eve is tomorrow and I haven't wrapped anything. So let me read these supers and we'll talk about the gaming news. Some stuff broke today. I want to say first, Paris, shout out to Paris in the chat if he's still here. He says, I'll never understand people who say silly stuff in the chat. If I saw Mag, I would be the first one to shake his hand.
Hey, oh, Ninja Squirrel's at it again. Check him out.
It's true. Again. And it's true. Paris is one of the nicest guys, and being able to shake someone's hand in real life is much better than sitting in a chat trying to get people to actually pay attention to you by insulting someone as amazing as Mag, middle-aged game guy, the Mag.
Oh, dude, I love this guy. He sounds so angry at life.
He's probably not happy. So and you know,
no, he just doesn't seem like a very happy person. He's probably an incel too. That would be my guess. Yeah. But anyways, that's just a guess, a wild guess.
Yeah,
I could just see the chicks lining up for this dude. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it burns. Anyway, it burns. It burns. It burns, doesn't it?
Ninja Squirrel, you are out of my head and out of my life. Go do something else. Anyways, carry on.
I'll tell you what, you can get a lot of attention when you just talk about what you like. We got Gen X podcast. Thank you so much for the $15 Australian super chat. Says, hey guys, played Indiana Jones over the weekend with the kids. One of the best games of this generation. Do you think they'll announce the next console in January at the Xbox event? No, too soon. But let's talk about Indiana Jones, Mag. Did you see the news about? It's selling pretty well. Did you see the news?
I did see something about that. I think Piscatella. By the way, I heard that Piscatella left Twitter and went to Blue Sky.
Yeah, a lot of people harass him too, because he's like, Xbox is doing great, and the PlayStation guys attack him. And then he goes like, PlayStation's doing amazing, and then he gets attacked by Xbox guys. But go ahead.
Oh, okay, I figured it had to do with something else that happened this year. But anyways, whatever. I don't care. Yes, I did read about what he said. And it was I think the week it released, it was the second only to Call of Duty or whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, that's actually a pretty good thing, pretty good for Xbox and for Microsoft, having the 1-2 games, best-selling games of that little time period that he was talking about. It was a little vague. Was it just the first week, or is it the month so far?
I think it was the past week.
Okay,
which it's been out for 3 weeks, maybe.
Right. Well, that's good. That's good news. I did hear a little bit. There's a little bit of speculation out there. There's like, well, first of all, they got the DLC coming, so that's going to be a while, I would imagine, before it actually comes to fruition. and I saw some people speculating about it, talking about it. Some people from Hollywood were even talking. It was like, hey, you know what? We could just continue on with the story and whatever else. That is entirely up to the publisher, which is Microsoft. They will decide whether they want to do that, if it's financially feasible, if they made enough money. Now, the big thing is, as I said before, I think that the bigger question is going to be whether how well it sells on PlayStation as well. That's going to be, I think, the final deciding factor to say, okay, you know what? It's doing fine here. But they're going to have to look. We're going to have to get a better idea in January, I think, and maybe February, when they have more numbers in front of them and say, okay, we have some tangible numbers in front of us. Let's look at it. Let's see what the production cost was versus sales. And then I'm not sure how they're going to work that into like the Game Pass subscriptions and how that works. I know how Netflix does it because I have people that work at Netflix, and what they do is that a show's success is based on how many new subscribers come on during the initial 6 to 8 weeks of the launch of a new show or movie. Right. And that's how they base their success on that. And that's why you see some shows that are like fantastic shows and they only get like 2 or 3 seasons and all of a sudden they get canceled. And you're like, what the hell? The show is great. The reason why is because it's nothing to do with the quality of the show or lack thereof, let's say, if it's not a great show. It has everything to do with the metrics. It has everything to do with how many new subscribers did they get during, let's use an example, during the newest season of Cobra Kai, right? And then they measure it from there. And they say, okay, well, we're getting diminishing returns or diminishing new subs based on, the new seasons of this, that, and the other. We'll give you one more season, and then that's that. So anyways, that's how they operate. If they're doing that with Game Pass, then I could see that. So they're looking at it from multifacets. You're looking at it from purchases on Xbox, purchases on PC, and then, of course, Game Pass subscribers. So once they have that better picture, the last piece of the puzzle is how well it's going to sell on PlayStation. When they get those numbers, then they're going to start entertaining the idea of a green light. Now, there's some people saying, oh, it's being greenlit. Not quite yet. What they do is when they say that, it's like, listen, write a story treatment. Get something ready, you know what I mean? Just to have like something that they could present to investors. And that just means like an outline, a portfolio, essentially, something they could pass around the table and say, here are our plans for the next game, if you're willing to do it, if you're willing to put up the money for it. So they're already working on a treatment, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen. It just means that they're working on a treatment. First and foremost, the team is working on the DLC. So that is the number one, and I'm not going to spoil the name of it in case people have it. Some people are very sensitive about that stuff, but they're working on that. And then at the same time, they're working on a treatment for a sequel if, and it's a big if, they possibly move forward with that. They may decide, I know they got 2 teams, but they may decide to put the bigger team on Wolfenstein or something else. But we'll see. We shall see. And like I said, that final piece of the puzzle will be sales on PlayStation. But that's great. I'm glad that people are enjoying it. I'm glad people are having a good time with it. And I'm glad people are buying the game. That's a wonderful thing. That can only mean great things for everybody in the business, man. Like great sales mean that the business is healthy and still doing what it needs to do. So I'm happy about it, and I'm great to see it it's succeeding.
Yeah, it surprised me, Mag, because I was under the impression that Indiana Jones was highly rated, but not selling very well. Not a lot of people playing it. Matt Piscatella's actual quote is right here from Blue Sky, as you point out. He says, anyways, I don't usually post about weekly rankings, but Indiana Jones was the number 2 best-selling video game for the week ending of December 14th in U.S. dollar sales, trailing only was behind Call of Duty Black Ops 6 in I think number 1. Sorry, the way he wrote that. Indiana Jones is number 2 best-selling, trailing only Call of Duty Black Ops 6. So Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is number 1. That's it. Astrobot went from number 11 to number 7th for that week. The same week as the Game Awards was when that report came in. And the funny thing about this Indiana Jones and my assumption was that it didn't do well.
You know what? That was my assumption too. Because I didn't hear anybody talking about it. By the way, every time you talk, your antlers keep falling.
I know.
I'm trying not to laugh.
I know. I can see it too.
It keeps going limp on one side. I mean, they have pills for that, Colt. I mean, for guys our age. So, anyways, carry on.
Yeah. So, number 1, Game Pass does not cannibalize sales. This game is in Game Pass, and Indiana Jones is a top seller in the U.S. And I would assume that also translates across many other regions in the world as well, as it being a financial success or a great seller. Number 2, Indiana Jones did not go woke or go broke. This is a reply
Except for that one line.
Except for that
Except for the one line. There's nothing easier than to manipulate an angry male.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, some pink hair with 9 cats wrote that line. Come on.
Yep.
Anyways, other than that line, I didn't see anything else that was actually ridiculous or out of place or whatever. So
yeah, I mean, they're really big. Delusional Takes tweeted out the picture of the guy saying modern audience and then the scores and how successful Indiana Jones. It was one of those things that the grifters completely got wrong.
You know what?
What's that?
I didn't see anything. I'm just saying I didn't see anything except for that one line that that was just shoved in there because she just got dumped. I don't know. It was just that one line. But other than that, I didn't see anything else in that game that was actually egregious at all. Yeah. To be quite honest.
It was just
my radar is on full tilt for that stuff, right? And I didn't see it.
Same. And I think it really comes down to if the game is great and if it's a financial success, they can't say, oh man, they went woke, they went broke. Number 3, no one wants first-person games. That was one of the big problems that people complained about. One of the big concerns that they said, Indiana Jones is a first-person game. Ooh, it's not third. Oh, I get motion sickness. I can't play it. Well, apparently it's doing really well. Number 4, no one cares about the old character Indiana Jones. Well, apparently that's wrong. No one really cares about the movies right now, but I think the movies still get a lot of viewers, but they broke that one. Like Indiana Jones did really well for a video game. And Indiana Jones looks mid was another thing I heard a lot. They said, oh, it looks mid, combat looks mid, game looks mid, graphics look bad. And no, it's a really great success. And I'm long since past Indiana Jones. I beat the game like over 2 weeks ago. So I'm kind of looking on it from the outside.
Gabriel's game is like, no spoilers, please. No, we will not
ever
give out. And you know what the funny thing is? Actually, for as long as we've been doing this show, we have never spoiled any game that we're talking about, ever. And that's something that we've always been very vague about, unless it's something that came out like 10 years ago. Then I'll be like, oh, this guy got killed, whatever. But if it's something new, and if it's something that we've played, like with the community or just around the same time, we will never spoil anything. So don't worry about that.
Yeah.
We're very respectful of that kind of stuff. So
yeah, and I understand that someone like Gabriel probably doesn't watch more than couple minutes of a review, because you'll see locations that you want to see for the first time yourself. And there are people that are way more sensitive than we think we are. But I know that when we've talked about Indiana Jones, have never like specifically said anything, but hopefully you guys can play the game.
No, we gave like fairly basic, like generic things. Like we talked about how the first person, like for me, I found that the first person view, especially, the monitor I'm playing in front of me, is that I really enjoy the first person because when I'm exploring, like, let's say a crypt or a cave or whatever, you really feel like you're kind of there. You know what I mean? As opposed to I'm moving a character from A to B. You feel like it's you that's discovering, what's written on the walls, what buttons to push. Is that stone loose? And then, you know what I mean? Go up and interact with it. And you're like, oh, crap, that did something or whatever, right? I'm just making examples. Or you have like your little lighter, the little lighter, and you put it near something and you just see like the little flare and you're able to read like just ever so much, or you know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. The first person was great. But yes, we will not spoil, story specifics, obviously.
Right. But, yeah. I mean, if a developer makes a game in a certain perspective, third or first, let them do that and trust the process. I've always been pleasantly surprised. That blue number, thank you so much for the $5 super, says Merry Christmas to everyone in the chat. Mag, Colt, and the mods, and the family of the guy Mag just KO'd.
I'm sure he's in the background still
squirrel
working.
Nuts is what we're going to call him from now on.
Yeah.
Squirrel nuts.
Yeah. See, look, the chat is relentless. Like True 77's like, not true. Mag spoiled solitaire for me. And then without even a second later, Yodani's like, Mag spoiled Miss Pac-Man for me. Spoiler alert, folks. She ate the ghosts. That's right.
Can you imagine someone spoils the ending cascade of cards? I wanted to do that. Yeah. Speaking of mods, shout out to Happy Bomb and Yodana Quezada, who are here moderating the chat during a very busy time. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Yodani said with a $5
for the biscuit, by the way.
Say again.
I was gonna say no thanks to Risk It for the biscuit. Like that guy has been like, dude, your fingers are gonna break. That guy's literally typing 1,000 miles an hour right now. Just insult after insult. Like he's typing
on an Xbox controller too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. Yeah, he's like a very, very, very bad version of Rodney Dangerfield with bad jokes. Except Rodney Dangerfield is the direct opposite. He's is the king of all kings. But anyways, there he is, and of course he threw in a super chat. Sorry, Colt. I just had to throw it.
Shout out to Sith Lord, who also sends a $2 super chat. Says Merry Christmas, Colt and Mag. I've been talking to Sith Lord behind the scenes. Yeah, Sith Lord was doing some treatment. Man. Yeah, Sith Lord was doing some treatment this week, and I think is going to watch the show on demand. So as you're hearing this now, we appreciate you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Sith Lord. Udana Kizada says, all I want for Christmas is Colt to sing the Cars for Kids jingle. Mag can harmonize if he wants. I know the song, but I don't even know how it goes. I know it sucks, but I think Kiss covered it too.
Oh my God, that's fantastic.
Hey, what about I Was Made for Loving You, Baby? You Were Made for
Loving You. Yeah. My daughter
Kiss.
loves that song.
It's a good one.
She loves that disco song. That was their attempt at capitalizing on the disco sound, which is pretty awful that they did that. And I'm just like, what did you guys do that for? But anyway, whatever, man. The funny thing is, in the end, it ended up being a decent song, and it made a ton of money. It made I was about to swear. I didn't want to swear. It actually made a ton of money. So they did really well. It was a hugely popular song. So, hey, whatever, man. In the end, you got to pay your bills, right?
Yeah, apparently. I think it was worth it. That's a good song. We got Risk It for the Biscuit.
Calm down.
Well, Risk It for the Biscuit. Thank you so much for the Australian 3. Says, Meg spoils X&C for me every time. Yes, that's facts.
Oh, you're amazing. Yeah. Oh, look at this chat tonight. Mongoose Mall, Mag coming to us from the new 51st state. Yeah. Hey, listen, man. I would happily be a 51st state if you let us keep our health care. If you let us keep our health care, you know, I'll be out there all day. Freedom isn't free for folks like you and me. I'll be right there, man. I'm right there for all of that stuff.
You know what we're going to do?
Proud to be an American. Yeah, I love those.
You're coming to LA in June.
Yes. Oh,
you're coming to LA in June, Mag.
Jesus.
Listen. All right.
Okay.
Probably can't hear that. So my noise
dude, I've got so much going on this year. It's insane.
Shut the hell up. Listen.
Oh, okay.
You're coming to LA for Showcase in June. And we're going out and doing karaoke for like 7 hours.
Well, the karaoke would absolutely happen, like right on the Sunset Strip.
I don't care what you're doing. You're going to the Xbox Showcase. All right?
Well, if Phil wants to pay for it, absolutely. But I got a couple of other obligations going on this year, so I'm gonna have to see. I know it's still 6 months away, and it's not about that. It's just I've got a bunch of other places in the globe I have to be this year, and
I'm gonna place you in the globe in a minute.
It's a lot of Pico Trek, relax there, man. That's a pause moment right there. Sorry, I don't even want to read what he said.
I got it. I'm all over it.
Yeah. There's Ghostbusters 84. He's like, I bet it's Mag flying the drones. I did hear something about those today, which we're not going to get into on this show, obviously, but I found out a possible reason why. And it was a little scary. But anyways, doesn't matter. Let's get into the show. Nothing to worry about, actually.
Yeah. But, we'll get back. So you were kind of touching on Indiana Jones. The LucasArts boss told the press this week that there are more Indiana Jones games. Like they're greenlit. Yes. They want to do it. I don't know who will do them. Looking at Star Wars, EA does Star Wars. Ubisoft's doing Star Wars. Could some other studio make a different Indiana Jones game? Would some studio make an Uncharted style game? But more than likely, Machine Games are working on planning their next sequel after this DLC, like you talked about, and they have that second studio.
Yeah, they have a treatment. They're working on a treatment. Like I said, the treatment is not greenlighting the project. It means they have a team of writers, even if it's just 2 to start with before they put a writing room together. It could be the 2 lead writers put it together, a treatment, an idea, and then that's when they bring it to the project leader. Then the project leader gives an estimate as to how long it's going to take. The kind of do they even say the word manpower anymore? Are they even allowed to say that? Whatever it is, manpower,
you can say it on this podcast.
Power, woman power, whatever the hell you want to say. How many people are going to work on the project? Well, okay, there you go. How many people are going to work on it? How long it's possibly going to take, and then a rough estimate of how much it's going to cost, and then they present that to the board. So that's how these things go. It always goes down the line. So they start at one thing, it started, conception stage, and on and on and on. So right now, you have LucasArts. And of course, Lucasfilm yes, they would want to do that. However, what's happening right now, it's not faring so well for, like, let's say outside of Jedi Survivor. Like Star Wars Outlaws was a complete failure, and that damaged the brand even further, as if Disney wasn't damaging enough on their own. So now they're looking at that going, Jesus Christ, we can't even make a good movie. We can't make a good show. They've announced 11, by the way, 11 Star Wars projects, and not one of them has even started production. So they just keep announcing crap and not doing anything with it. So there's that. Then they finally start branching out on Star Wars. You give EA what they're doing, and they're doing fine with the property. And then they give some to Ubisoft, and Ubisoft tanks it. Disney themselves is tanking it. Disney themselves tanked, like, for example, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny lost a ton of money. It bombed in the box office, and now we've got this game, which is, from all intents and purposes, is doing well, which is great. Do they start getting cold feet going, holy crap, I don't want to give it to another studio, and then they bomb the name, right? Because then that affects not only Lucasfilm, that also affects Machine Games, because the name will be synonymous with whatever the last game that came out was, right? You're only as good as your last whatever, right? And so that's kind of how it works. So it's a very dangerous game for them to play with a lot of money at stake. So I think what they're going to do right now is they're going to hold tight. They got a treatment ready. They're working on the DLC. Leave it at that. See how the sales on PlayStation go. Make a decision in the summer. There's no rush. They've got a lot of games coming.
Yeah, they just wrapped Indiana Jones. Like you said, they're working on the DLC. Shout out to over 600 people are here watching the Christmas special edition of X&C with Mag and Colt. Thank you so much for being here. Hit the like button if you're enjoying the show. We are talking about Indiana Jones. We're talking about the second studio of Machine Games. I'm about to talk about Wolfenstein, and I want to hear what you guys think about that. Wolfenstein is not a financial juggernaut right now. The new Colossus did not sell very well. I don't remember the numbers, maybe 2 or 3 million. What didn't sell very well. And then Youngblood really ruined it. But Machine Games have leaked that they're working on another Wolfenstein game. And I think that's why they have started a new studio that starts up the beginning of next year. There'll be an independently working studio for Machine Games to work on something different besides support. So it sounds like Machine Games is working on the next Wolfenstein, and man, I hope it's really good. And if you've played New Colossus, you know it's even better than New Order and Old Blood, which are incredible. I really want to see something that somebody also told me that they've been teasing Quake, but that would be id. I don't think that would be Machine Games, but maybe they could work on it. I don't know, but Xbox has a lot of studios. They better get them all cracking.
You know, it's first of all, I want the Wolfenstein story to wrap up because it went in a certain direction. Again, we'll stay spoiler free. I mean, remember you playing it, and it didn't resolve. And so I'm like, can we get this story just kind of wrapped up in a nice little bow, and then we can move on from there? I thought the games were fantastic. I love the new Wolfenstein series were all great. The last 3, except for the one with the girls. What was that, New Blood or whatever the hell it was? Youngblood. Yeah. Youngblood was terrible, but the other ones were fantastic. So I really enjoyed them. But yeah,
you know
I
could funny see about that.
Yep.
Arcane Austin, the team behind Redfall, worked in concert with Machine Games to make that. If I remember right. Yeah, I think it was.
Okay.
I don't think it was Arcane Leon. I think it was Arcane Austin, that made Youngblood.
Well, they got time. They've got time, okay? Yeah. Because they have a huge cadence of games coming over the next, presumably 3 years. I mean, we talked about it last week. We don't have to talk about it again, about what we know is coming next year, what we think is coming in 2026, and then 2027, right? So we got that going in there, and then so they've got time. That buys them minimum 3 years of already a packed schedule, right? Then when you get into year 4 and year 5, some of these other studios are going to be coming back up the round end, and they're going to be releasing their games. And that's when you're going to get, like, you know, a new Halo in there, your new Gears in there, and whatever else, right? So they're going to throw that in there on that end. So that buys Machine Games. I would say it buys them about 4 years before people start asking questions. However, let's say it takes 5 years to release the next game, and let's say it is an Indiana Jones game or whatever, or a Wolfenstein game. You've got 4 years to release a trailer, and then you got 5 years to release one. So you got time. You've got time.
I think they spent about 4 years on The Great Circle. And I want to correct myself on mic and camera because I wrote in the chat.
Sure, what's up?
Youngblood was created in with Machine Games and Arcane Leon, the team that did Dishonored 2 and also is working on Marvel's Blade. So I don't know. Sometimes you can't really say if a studio is responsible for or if their next game is going to flop based on what they've made. But we'll see. Yeah.
So basically, what you're saying is you just community noted yourself.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here, folks. You heard it here first, folks.
I'm approved to do community notes on Twitter as well. I just got that approval a couple days ago, and I probably never used it, but I don't know. Sometimes people say stuff that isn't right, and whatever. I don't know. Whatever, I guess.
It happens. What are you going to do?
Yeah, what are you going to do? The next piece of news is the rumor about the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion remake is a reality as far as we know right now. I mean, it's not official, absolutely not official. But the rumor was, are they just going to make a port edition for everybody else? PlayStation has zero access to the Oblivion game because they don't have any back compat outside of cloud gaming on PS3. PC and Xbox have had access to a decent version of Oblivion. Right now on Xbox console, you can play the Oblivion backward compatible version at 4K 60 with the old 2006 graphics. 2006, I think that's what it is. Yeah. I've never played the Oblivion game, and Yodani says he can't wait for me to get into it and understand why people love it so much. I don't know much more about this other than this Virtual Studio is supposed to be working on it. Bethesda has nothing to do with the port. They farmed it out. I'm not an expert in Oblivion. I don't know if you've played it, Mag, but I mean, there's a whole mod thing.
I wasn't into RPGs at that time. At that time, like my gaming tastes evolved over time, and in 2006, I wasn't into RPGs yet. Just barely getting my feet wet into like the action RPG sort of genre. I played Final Fantasy VII way back on the PlayStation 1, I guess. Was it 1 or 2? Whatever it was on. And I really enjoyed it. And then I just didn't get into any other RPGs. It just wasn't my thing. So that one I never even bothered playing.
Yeah, I hear it's really great. I had a friend at work that
now I'm into it.
Yeah, I had a friend at work that was really hooked on Oblivion. And I was playing Fallout 3. He's like, oh, I can't do it. But he went back to Oblivion. And he said it's so old. And he said that the quests were so long. He says you would start a quest and it would just keep going and going and going. You come back and complete one part of it. And there was another part. And he said it was unbelievable. He was so hooked on it. But when I would go look at the game, this was like back in 2009, like when Fallout 3 is fairly new. And I would go back and look at the footage on like IGN. I'm like, how are you playing that? And I remember in 2009 thinking, how are you playing that old, rusty, dusty looking game? And he was so hooked on it. And I know Kirk Adams just wrote in the chat, Colt needs to play it. I tried to start it up a week ago when I was making content about Oblivion. I started up on Xbox and I was like, oh, this is really rough. And I got outside and I'm like, I just can't do this right now. I need to wait. So I'm going to wait for this remake and hopefully it feels more modern, I guess. I don't know.
As for the game itself, I hear that it's being targeted for June 2025.
Okay.
All right. Not any sooner. It's not going to shadow drop in January. None of that business.
Do you think it could be a shadow drop? Like it gets announced at the Xbox showcase?
Well, it's not much of a shadow drop if I already said it.
I mean, Xbox doesn't say anything until the June showcase, and they show this Elder Scrolls Oblivion remake, and then they're saying it's available right now on Game Pass and Xbox.
Right.
And
that is a possibility. I mean, it makes sense, but as it stands right now, from what I'm hearing inside the Xbox camp, is that it's targeting June 2025.
That's nuts.
And it is real. Obviously, it's real because I see some of these videos out there going, "It's real," and I'm like, "Yeah, we know. It's like we know it's real. It's just it's coming out a lot sooner than people think."
Okay. I mean, I figured it would be sometime in mid or late 2025, but I thought it was going to come out last year when nothing was announced last year, which I had it in a video, when nothing was announced for Oblivion, I just figured, oh, maybe they just canceled the project, because there was a rumor for a Fallout 3 remake or remaster and an Oblivion remake remaster slash remaster from the 2022 gaming leaks that dropped in September of 2023. So I talked about these for a while, and when they didn't materialize, I started to think maybe it doesn't exist. And then I talked to somebody about a week ago that says, oh, that Oblivion remake, it's real. It's not a remaster. It's not a port. It's a remake. It's the real deal. And I thought, oh, and it's hard for me to get excited because I'm not like you guys. I haven't like grown up loving that game. So it'll have to be one of those things I have to discover.
But you know what, though? It's also great for us in a different way, Colt, because then we'll be discovering it for the first time. You know what I mean? So I think actually from our point of view, that might even be better, because then we're just walking in there like fresh as the fallen snow virgins, walking into this game like, oh, look at this, magical. And yeah, exactly. Look at the trees. Through the
look
trees.
At my hooves.
Yeah, look at my hooves. Look at my hooves. So, yeah, I think it's going to be, anybody knows that reference.
Yeah, if anybody knows that reference, write in the chat. Look at my hooves.
Right in the chat. Look at my hooves.
I say that in front of my kids so much, she wants to punch me.
Man. Yep. I'm the backwards man, the backwards man, backwards man, the backwards man. Yeah.
Daddy, would you like
I
some
can
sausages?
do everything that you can. I'm the backwards man, the backwards man.
So dumb.
Anyways, that's one of the news things I was going to say today, because I was talking about it on my stream earlier. They're like, hey, Mag, what's going on with Oblivion? What's going on with Oblivion? And I said, listen, I'll drop it on XNC. And this comes from a very trusted source saying they're targeting June 2025. So expect it then. So about 6 months, not too long of a wait. I'm sure you all got backlogs to deal with, as I. And I've got some pretty big games out there. Yeah, I got some pretty big games I got to get through between now and June. So, we got some time on our hands, right? So let's focus on that.
I don't know if I'm assuming we might do a show next week, which will be the day before New Year's Eve. And if we do, Mag, I want to spend a lot of time, you and I, just breaking down everything that happened in 24 and then talk about the roadmap for 25, because it is literally, actually, bona fide, bombastically insane how many games are coming out this year. It's unreal.
It's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem, because
it's going to be one of those, if you have a persistent for over 5 hours, consult your doctor type problem.
Yeah, exactly. I think at this point, we're going to have to start getting real choosy with some of the other games. I'd be like, we're going to have to get real bougie and be like, listen, if it's not an 8.5 or higher, I ain't playing it, because there are 385,000 games coming out per month for all of 2025. It's got to be an 8.5 or higher, or I'm not picking it up, because there's way too much going on. And the funny thing is, like I said, I still got a backlog of some massive games. Like I'm about to, I think in a couple of weeks, once I'm done Stellar Blade, I'm going to be diving into a couple of Resident Evils that I'm streaming just in celebration of the announcement of the Resident Evil 9, which is going to be coming up soon. The announcement, anyway. I got Dragon's Dogma 2. I haven't even turned on yet. Final Fantasy 16 and 7 haven't even turned them on yet. And then on the Xbox, I played everything I wanted to play there for now. And then, what do we got? Are we going to go right into this? Are we going to get right into this story or what?
Oh, what? Which story?
About 2025. Like, you want to talk about each individual?
No, I wanted to cover that next week if we do the show.
Oh, next week.
Because
sorry, my bad.
I gotta write them all down. I'm telling chat to check out Red Wolf's Oblivion video. It's about 5 minutes long. Bookmark it and watch it later. He covers what he thinks and expects from Oblivion, and he's like the Oblivion connoisseur. He knows the game. He said in the chat here, he said, Oblivion wouldn't be a backlog type of game. Elder Scrolls, Bethesda games in general are really games meant to be lived in. Tons of replayability. I would love to go back into it. And he has some cool footage that he's captured in his video covering Oblivion. You get 5 minutes of really great news from that. Let me read this one out of turn. Red Wolf, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. It says, chat, tell Colt he needs to try Monster Hunter. I installed it, bro. Let's play it one of these evenings.
Do it, man. I can't do it. I tried Monster Hunter as well, and it's just not my jam. And you know what? Capcom is one of my favorite developers out there. And I just can't do the Monster Hunter thing, man. It's just not me. Like I went out there, I gave it a shot, and I just was like, wasn't there one they released on Game Pass like a year ago or a year and a half ago?
Yeah, it's the 2019 Monster Hunter World.
Yeah.
Whatever
Whichever one was on Game Pass.
Monster Hunter.
Whatever one was on Game Pass, I played that one, and I was like, all right.
Yeah, no, Monster Hunter Rise is really anime-y than normal. Like Monster Hunter World looks a little bit more realistic, it's more gritty looking. But the reason why I'm going to give it another shot, because Red understands the game and I don't. And if we play it in co-op, he can like show me the mechanics of setting out bait or whatever and tracking an animal and then figuring out how to take it down properly.
Right.
Yeah, anyway, but I appreciate him so much. We got Risky for the Biscuit. Thank you so much for this $8 super. He clipped Mag last week. He says, I need another clip, please. Have Mag read this, quote, and now he can clip me. I loved a lot of men in my time. Great. Wait, I gotta look at the camera when I say it. I've loved a lot of men in my time. He says, great show. Merry Christmas, Ecstasy, and chat. Yeah, he got buddy. You last week saying I had a lot of men bearing down on me or something.
Yeah, no, it says I've slept with a lot of men or something. I can't remember.
I had to romance a whole bunch of men.
Yeah, I've romanced a bunch of men. Yeah, and then like literally a second later, I'm like, you know what? Someone's gonna clip that, and like within half an hour, there's Risk It. Already clipped it. Already all over the internet. Listen, man, it is what it's gonna be. By the way, Merry Christmas, Risk It, because they're time travelers. It's actually already Christmas Day over there. They're already opening presents. So I'm just kidding.
Actually probably almost is. They're 18 hours ahead. Some of them.
It's getting there. It's getting there. Yeah, it's getting there. So like it's basically
24
Christmas
hours
Eve
would
night.
be 24 hours would be Christmas Eve.
Yeah. They're
so it's
there.
Christmas Eve over there.
Yeah, they're basically getting ready for Sapa.
Meg, you're really good at this time dilation stuff.
What? Yeah.
You should go Interstellar because you understand like time dilation.
Interstellar.
Yeah. God Emperor Suffocating, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Says Oblivion Remake like the One Piece. That's a reference to the anime, but I don't know what it means.
Oh, you mean like the One Piece that was on Netflix?
Yeah, maybe.
All right. Just remake it, like really remake it. Oh, okay, I see what he's getting.
Do I need to watch Secret Level? Everyone's talking about it.
I watched the Pac-Man one, and I literally wanted to throw myself out the window. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I was like, yeah, this is not for me. It was just really weird. Really weird.
Let me get Mag's channel link in the description for you guys. Hold on. I always
Team Scott, knock it off. That's hilarious.
How do you find yourself in here?
Emerson Ricardo.
Hold on, I'll get it in a second here. Well, what's he saying?
I multitask. He just hailing from Brazil. That's all. I just wanted to scream it.
What?
Yeah, okay. Michael Bayless. While you're doing that, while you're looking it up, I will talk to this chat briefly. I was like, yeah, Michael Bayless, you're not wrong. Secret Level was hit or miss. I watched a few. The Pac-Man one was probably the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Mongoose Mall is saying the Warhammer was great. Outer Worlds one was great. That's that blue number right there. You're a mean one, Mr. Red Wolf. You're a mean one, Mr. Red Wolf Renegade. You're almost as scummy as Risk It. Anyways, we got a great chat going on tonight, and Colt's doing a couple things. The Mega Man episode was too short. They were really short. I remember the Pac-Man one was only 7 minutes, but it was strange, dude. Creepy ass strange. Do you want me to link my channel in the chat?
I'm subscribed to you, so I'm going through my subscribe list, and I can't find you.
That's so bizarre.
Hold on. I'm also trying to do it very quickly so I can get on with things, and then I'm there you are. Okay.
You found it?
Yep. Okay. I'm going to paste it in the chat, and then I am going to
I just edit
it
in the chat
into
the
sucker here. Let's see. Edit.
There we go. We just pasted it in the chat, and it's right in there. Colt put it in, I put it in there, and yeah, there it is, ladies and gentlemen.
And then I'm going to put it right here. There we go.
Anyways, it's such a weird show. I mean, if you want to give it a shot, because the episodes are rather short, so just give it a shot, take a look at it, see if it's something you're interested in, and then just give it just watch.
What is it? It's like a mini doc of different video games in the industry.
Okay, so
I don't know what it is.
It's like an anime take. You remember you ever watched the movie Animatrix?
No.
At all? You don't remember that? The Animatrix, from the Matrix movies. they did like little shorts based on like ideas and stories from the Matrix universe and things, and a lot of them were just sort of like alternate takes on different things. It was kind of weird. Anyways, this idea, from what I've understood, when I understood here, is that it's sort of like an alternate universe version of like what's going on. It's really strange. I'm not describing it very well. I don't want to spoil it either. Like for people who like, but like the Pac-Man one is only like 6 minutes long or 7 minutes. Just give it a watch and just, I don't know. If you don't throw yourself out the window, maybe try a couple other ones. But it was really, really bizarre.
I mean,
It was
heard people
bizarre
really
and
liked
disturbing,
it.
and I was just like, this is not my vibe. I mean, I love disturbing. Like Terrifier is one of my favorite series of all time. Give me disturbing. I have no problem with that. But this was just really surreal and strange and disturbing all at the same time. It really didn't vibe with me.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'll give it a try. Write in the chat, or Meg, you could tell me which one you think I should watch first, like your favorite one or one you liked, and I'll give that a try. Or maybe I'll just start from the beginning. I think that blue number also has liked some of them, so
Yo, Donnie, you are a scumbag. I don't have to announce that you're a scumbag every single week. All right? You know it. You already know that you're a scumbag. You've been here for it's there. He's talking a blue number. He's like, I'm going out of my character to get the mag to call me a scumbag to no avail. Dude, you don't have to worry about that. Just say something about just be like that squirrely guy, Squirrel Nuts, whatever his name was. And then I'm sure he's gone now. Yeah, I'm sure he's gone now, wherever he is. He's in the the secret level universe right now.
Remember in 1998 when there was like the fad with like swing and rockabilly music? You might have liked it, but I hated it. I hated the Stray Cats, the Brian Seltzer band thing.
We can't do this right now.
I know. I'm sorry.
Brian Setzer is an incredible guitarist.
Yes, he is.
Dude,
He's a great musician.
Shred.
I just didn't like the whole Rockin' Wild, or what was it? What was his song?
Well, I mean, they had a bunch of songs, but I remember there was a resurgence of swing in the 90s because of that movie.
Yep.
Because of that movie Swingers. The movie Swingers came out, the independent movie with Jon Favreau and the guy who always looks tired. What the hell's his name? He was in Four Christmases. He was in Dodgeball. Someone help me out.
Vince Vaughn?
Yeah, Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn was in that?
Yeah, and Vince Vaughn was like 17, or no, he wasn't 17. I mean, he was like 21, but still. The point is like, they were like children in that movie. They were basically in their early 20s, and he still looked tired though. Maybe he should get always tired tattooed on his face instead of Post Malone. Because he's always got those big bags under his eyes. Anyways, when that movie came out, the whole soundtrack was all swing music, right? Yeah. And then all of a sudden it brought this whole trend of swing music back into the fray, and it was like the Cherry Poppin' Daddies and you remember those guys and like all those bands, and then like
but the problem
there was a whole bunch
Mag,
of them. And then ska punk came back, which I love.
Ska punk was my jam. I love
really, ska punk.
I was like the only guy who liked ska punk music back in like in the late 90s, but like my thing was the post grunge, the post grunge rock music. Like I was really into that, and everything about Squirrel Nut Zippers, Cherry Poppin' Daddies, and Brian Seltzer Orchestra was like anti everything that I like. That it's really kitschy music that to me. But that was like a whole thing that I was like, it came and went in a year, and then to this day, Mag, if I hear now this kind of lands in that genre of music. When I hear this song, as soon as I hear the fake drums, I will run out of a grocery store if I have to hear Mambo number 5. I'm
Come
gone.
on, dude, that song is amazing.
Bro, if I'd be like picking up a head of lettuce, I will chuck it at the nearest old lady and I'll run out of the store because I can't turn down the volume. I'm stuck.
Donnie, real Big Fish, man. Love them. They're
Real
the
Big
best.
Fish are amazing.
Real Big Fish. You know what's crazy? I want to tell you a funny story. This is only gonna take 30 seconds. I was in Montreal, and I was with a bunch of people who were like just total lame asses. They went to bed, and I was upset, and not upset. I was just like, I'm so bored. This is stupid. So at that time, I used to smoke, right? So I used to go outside and And I went out for a smoke, and I was walking around, and I just like there was like this marquee that was right above me, and the lights were on, and there was something going on inside. I could hear something, like I could hear music and stuff going on inside. So I went underneath the marquee, and I was just like sitting there having a smoke and just hanging out and whatever. And then eventually I just walked back to the hotel room, and everybody was asleep and whatever. And then that was it. And I'm like, man, I wish I could have had something to do tonight or whatever. The next day I got up for breakfast, and I walked by that same marquee. And of course, the date on the marquee was the night before, the night I was standing underneath it, because I couldn't see it because it was right above me. Real Big Fish. Real Big Fish was in concert that night, and I was standing under the marquee like a jackass. I didn't look up to see who was on, like who was in there. I'm like, oh man, sounds like there's a band playing. And I just finished my smoke and I went back to the room or whatever. And I'm sitting there bitching that I had nothing to do that night. All I had to do was walk in that door. I don't care if I was halfway through the show. I would have walked in there and had the time of my life.
I would have loved to see those guys play. I've never seen them play.
You know that I've never seen them play to this day? Because
I
like
haven't.
the one opportunity I had, the marquee was right above my big stupid head, and I didn't even look up to see what was going on inside. Isn't that unbelievable? What a piss off. Anyways, I never got to see him. I still to this day haven't seen him. So, and I went to go see Goldfinger, and I got really, really sick with the flu, so I never got to see them either. So I lost my tickets to them too, man. I gave them to my cousin for free and my brother. I'm like, you guys go. And I just like lay in bed dead for like 4 days. But anyways, back to gaming.
Back to big regrets, missing out on some of your favorite music ever. Let's talk about these leaks and rumors. Before we do, I will set up some of the stuff I covered in today's video. Thank you everybody for checking that out. I really appreciate you. We're like right up at Christmas. And I'm like, I got to make this video. I have to do it. Jez Corden of Windows Central wrote this incredible article about his prediction. I kind of take it as Jez is hearing things and he wants to posture it as his predictions because things change. Things are in flux. But according to Jez Corden, he assumes that starting next generation, Xbox will have a handheld. Like they said, they'll have a regular traditional console, and they are going to farm out or OEM more powerful console-like PC-like hybrid consoles from manufacturers like Lenovo, Dell, Samsung, Razer. They're going to give them the access to the actual Xbox dashboard. I threw in some embellishments that it's highly plausible that Xbox will have a universal Windows or Xbox dashboard that will usher in next generation, that will make it ubiquitous and seamless for you to have all of the games you now own on console carried directly over with more power and more choice and flexibility on either a desktop PC or a PC-like console or your actual console. So starting next generation, you can, at the very tip top, you can have a great new next generation consoles be powered by AI cores. There's a lot to unpack here. Or you could decide, you know what? For $700, I can get the new Xbox, and that's probably going to be the price point thanks to PlayStation. You can thank PlayStation for setting the price point of standardized consoles at $700 because they pushed the PS5 Pro there, and that's where the market's going to go because they're in first place in plastic next to Nintendo. The next console will, for Xbox, will be really powerful, but if you want something even better, if you want something that you can, and I'm going to say this for the PC guys. Sorry, I got to hold up a controller like Dreamcast guys. Shout out to one of the greatest content creators on the planet. If you want to be able to play your games, you can do this on PC like this with a wireless controller, absolutely on a TV. But if you want access to everything, your party volume, your music, your screen captures, your game recording, your friends, launching games, everything from just a push of the button, you want to do that on a console or a console-like PC hybrid. And there's a lot here. I don't want to give the mic over to Mag in just a second, but I gotta explain the rest of what Jez said. He said that they will have this universal system where Steam is letting other people make Steam boxes like Lenovo or Dell or Samsung or whoever. So there'll be actual Steam certified boxes that you can hook up to your TV and have power like in a PC. This is really cool. If Xbox can allow you to bring your games over from console, buying something like the new Xbox console, which will also have PC storefronts and PC integration into it, the future is so amazing. If you're like me, if you own 1 or 100 PC games, you'll be able to play all of them on one box. And I would assume that would be on the new Xbox or a Samsung or Lenovo or a Dell Xbox style console PC. It's really, really cool. Mag's heard some other things, which I'm going to let him talk about as well. But check out Jez's article after this. Check out my video. I talk about it for about 8 minutes and try to break it all down. The future is way more power, way more choice, way more performance, and way more games. And I think it's really going to blow the industry like wide open. Mag, what have you heard? Sorry, that's a lot.
Well, no, it's fine. It's fine. Well, there's the obvious. The obvious is I've already told you guys that there are two consoles coming. One is the first one that's going to be revealed is I said it, but I didn't say it. Project is the handheld, and the handheld.
Hold on, I'll just shoehorn in that you've heard this project name before, but we're just going to go say for now.
Yeah, because that one I was told not to say the name of the thing because it's far too sensitive, because the people who actually know it, there's only a handful of people who actually know the real name. And if I say that, it's going to possibly out the handful of people who actually know the name of it, right? So it's going to be whatever. Anyways, the point is the next one to be revealed will be the handheld. It'll be sooner than people expected. There are rumors. Keep your eyes open for CES this year. I'm not sure about that. I'm just saying, keep your eyes peeled. Yeah, in January, just keep your eyes peeled for that, just in case. But that's one thing I heard, but it's not from the same. Anyway, the point is, just keep your eyes peeled. That's going to be your next one that's going to be revealed. Now, that being the case, the handheld is going to be the one from the Surface team, and that's the one that's going to be in conjunction with something like you'll be able to like a PC Xbox hybrid, and yeah, I can't go into too many details about that. The console itself, I know some people are like, oh, no, Jason Ronald was not involved in the next gen. Yes, he was. He was just promoted now to a different position. He's still been spearheading the other console for quite some time. They've been working on it for a couple of years at least, from what I understand. But anyways, so that being the case, he's moved on to greener pastures, I would imagine. See you down the dusty trail. So anyways, the point is that that's happening too at some point. Now, the other thing that's interesting is there's something that I wanted to talk about in terms of, and that's not new news, obviously. The one thing is that there's something coming up with the way that they plan to do their business with PC and the console business. Now, the thing is, with the console will always be an option. It's not going away. It'll still be there. You'll still be able to buy some form of Xbox, as I just told you. PC, I know some people in the chat are saying, oh, PC is the way to go. Sure, if that's the route you want to go ahead. PlayStation is going to continue to make their consoles. Their games will remain exclusive on the consoles for a period of time before they move anything to PC, because their focus is still the console. Nintendo Switch 2 is going to also just be the console. They don't port things to PC. Certainly not the same way that anybody else would. So basically, the new console wars in a different kind of way are going to coexist. Yet it's going to be sort of what it used to be. It's going to be PlayStation and Nintendo kind of doing their thing, and Microsoft has always kind of gone off-road. It'll be an option, but they're not going to face anybody head-on. They're more interested in funneling money out of these companies. Well said. As we've already talked about several times. That being the case, I have some interesting news, is that Xbox's plan is to upgrade, listen carefully, everybody, it's to upgrade their Play Anywhere to Play Everywhere. And that's something that they're thinking about. Whether they're thinking about it or already putting it into play, not 100%. But this is what their plan is. And what that means is that when you buy a game once, you'll be able to get the free license to use that in other storefronts like Steam, Epic, whatever. Xbox doesn't care about a storefront, as the plan is to own the game product, and all the money from any of these store purchases funnels back to them.
Yep.
Now, the thing is, what ends up happening at that point, so that they can eat from the remains of anyone, so that the stores will basically, this is the part where it gets a little bit tricky, depending on the popularity of the games. What could happen is that these companies are going to start to cannibalize each other a little bit. By what's going to happen is they're going to lower their prices, like kind of spiral out of control as they all compete to give a lower price in order for you to buy the game. Yes, go ahead.
I got to, don't forget what you're going to say, but what Mag's explaining is, if Xbox allows you to play your games on any device, like you buy one game from Xbox, you can play it nearly everywhere. People would make a decision consciously to say, why would I buy the Steam version when I can buy it from Xbox, and then I can play it on more than just I can play it on more devices. So go ahead.
Right.
That's what he means
Now,
by the undercut.
yes. And now, before I get into the undercut thing, well, no, sorry, I'll get in the undercut thing right now. So what end up happening is that a lot of these storefronts are going to start combating each other, spiraling a little bit out of control, where it gets to the point where they're all going to try to be the lowest denominator, so that people will buy the games on their storefront, so at least they get something, as opposed to just eating free licenses, right, and access to a game on their servers for no money. Right, and nothing to support their infrastructure. So there's going to be a little bit of an issue there. I could see a little bit of a pushback, but like games like Call of Duty, whatever else, I don't think they're gonna. I think they'll just let those ones slide. But I think that they might not put as much focus on those, because why would you want people in your storefront or on your servers or on your, you know what I mean, and whatever, if they're not paying anything into it, right? Yeah. So that's where you see a little bit of an issue there. However, at the end of the day, if there is, that's why I say you have to attract people to your storefront. So it's going to be it's a little confusing, but I understand what's happening. Now, I did ask one of my contacts exactly what he meant by that. I'm a little confused. I'm like, why? And I actually wrote this. I said, these storefronts are going to sit there. I'm like, and Microsoft's going to make them eat free licenses and games not purchased on their store. How or why would they ever agree to that? He did answer something which I'm not going to say out loud, but he did say something. He's like, well, think about it this way. When you buy a movie on YouTube, right? You can watch it in your Apple library when you're connected to that device, right? So it's happening now. It's happening now in the Hollywood side of things, in the movie and television industry. That's already happening, where you're able to, like, on some storefronts, you're able to purchase here and here, but you're able to utilize it elsewhere where Apple made no money off. But the thing is, where they're going to end up making their money is that engagement on their systems, or not their systems, on their servers. Right, so that's where they get their money from, I guess, eventually. So that's the plan. The plan is that instead of going to be play anywhere, it's going to be play everywhere. I did ask about Game Pass. I'm like, so how does Game Pass factor into all this? And one of my people said that Game Pass is just going to remain its own pillar. It's going to remain its own thing. As I said before, and I even talked about that last week. I was just saying the same thing. I was just like, listen, what's going to happen is there's going to be options. Game Pass is no longer the focus. Game Pass is just part of an avenue to keep you inside the Xbox store. I talked about this last week on with Mooch, actually, because we were talking about it, and I said what they want to do is what Amazon is doing. Amazon doesn't really care about Amazon Prime, the network, right? Amazon Prime, they want you, Colteastwood, and everybody in the chat, they want you to stay in the ecosystem of Amazon Prime to purchase products. The byproduct, which is the TV shows, the movies, the Rings of Power, Reacher, whatever, right? Yellowstone. They want you to watch all that and stay there, because they want you to say subscribe to Amazon Prime, because the next time you need a pair of socks, you go straight to Amazon Prime that you're already paying for, right?
Yeah.
That is all just a subsidiary in order to keep you into the service. Is everybody following me so far? So what happens is now at this... No, I'm not being a smartass. I'm actually being serious, because I know I'm spitting out a lot of information.
Yeah, there's a lot
I'm telling you what they're doing. I'm telling you what Microsoft is doing. And so what they do is that once they made that pivot, hence the fact that, what was it called? Project whatever the hell?
Project Latitude.
Latitude. I was going to say lateral. And Josh Allen throws a lateral and a touchdown. Latitude came into fruition, because then they realized Game Pass is no longer the focus, because it's not making the money or getting in the amount of subscribers they wanted. So what do? You continue to get... Game Pass ain't going anywhere. It's going to stay there for as long as they're in the gaming business. And it's going to be a subsidiary in order to keep you into the Xbox into the Xbox store, so that every skin, every purchase, every Mariah Carey skin, suit you buy, and every emoji, and every whatever, Cardi B outfit for Call of Duty, they get all the money. Or if a new hot game comes out and you're on the Xbox store anyway, you're going to buy it right there, because you're sitting right there. And that's why they're keeping Game Pass around. They're not going to get rid of it. They're using it as a lure to keep you into the store. Exactly the same business model as Amazon Prime. The other thing, as I mentioned before, about the Play Everywhere, that is the market that's been introduced by Google. So what Microsoft is doing is that they're taking all the different successful facets of all these different corporations, and they're creating their own sort of Frankenstein idea of saying that works for them, that works for them, that works for them. Let's do a little bit of each and continue to make billions and then eventually trillions of dollars.
Yeah, this is why PlayStation is...
And I'm exhausted from that.
I know. You did such a good job. Thank you so much for covering all that, like off the top of your head so well. But I know you've been diving into it. And even when I gave my preamble, it's crazy. Yeah, PlayStation has always been fearful of Microsoft and Xbox in their own ways. And PlayStation dominates in that segment of the plastic market when it comes to selling consoles. But right now, the competing for users, because the bread and butter of the console is not the exclusive like everyone says.
No, that's to lure you in.
Yeah, I mean, and it does lure in a few million people, but if you look at the numbers tell the story that the majority of people buy a PS5 so they can play FC 2025, so they can play Fortnite, so they can play Call of Duty, so they can play Minecraft and Roblox or Genshin Impact. It really is the real reason why people buy consoles. And the cherry on top and the gravy is the exclusives. PlayStation is so ubiquitous and so popular because they've become the Kleenex name brand of tissues. PlayStation means gaming console, just like the Nintendo does. And PlayStation knows right now that their viability of keeping millions of people buying the most popular game, and even if it's, let's just, like you talked about Fortnite, if you look at just Fortnite, it frightens PlayStation to think that someone else could take a piece of their pie, which is someone else buying Fortnite on a different platform and spending $300 a year on skins and emotes, because that's their bread and butter. That's where the majority of their money comes from. It's why they were so afraid that Xbox would hinder the quality or the availability of Call of Duty, which is their big moneymaker on the PlayStation console, is Call of Duty.
You don't think that Microsoft is looking at what Sony's doing and saying, we need some of that too? I mean, they're getting some of that, obviously, just not on the same scale. Like, for example, if you think about this. Never mind the third-party exclusives that were on PlayStation. Let's just talk about first party, okay? Because I know people are like, like, yes, they did, but a lot of them obviously weren't first party.
Yeah.
But they had Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, they had Helldivers 2, they had Stellar Blade, and great games that to start off the beginning half of the year or whatever, right?
Yes.
But they dominated 2024 by releasing one first party game. The rest of the money they made was from Fortnite and Call of Duty. They can sit back as long as they are the popular console, or as long as they're part of like the zeitgeist of the conversation of everybody's conversation. They will continue to make billions of dollars by not even having to produce anything except for a storefront and an ecosystem and a console, right? They could actually, like I said, 2024, they released one first party game. Yes, the other games were exclusive to the console.
Yep.
But I'm just talking about from first party, okay? And they dominated 2024. How and why is because 84%, something like that, of the sales of Call of Duty were on PlayStation.
Yep.
Sony took 30% of every single one of those sales and literally just sat back, and they didn't even have the marketing. And they sat back with their hands behind their head and just started counting cash for doing absolutely sweet F all. Next year will be the same thing. They're going to make a ton of money on Call of Duty, and they're going to make a metric boatload of money on Grand Theft Auto 6.
Oh, yeah.
And then whatever else, right? So
let me shoehorn
what
in
Microsoft is doing. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, finish what you're saying. Yeah, what
Microsoft sees this. They see the money in that too. Mm-hmm. Fortnite as well. My son, he's got, I don't know, 8 to 10 kids in his little game group. They have like a little app on their phone that they could talk to each other and like, hey, we're online or whatever.
Yeah.
All of them have a PlayStation 5 and all they play is Fortnite.
Right.
Right? Like they
PlayStation
don't play,
didn't do any of that.
Like my son does.
Platform.
One other guy does. This other guy, Cobra, is in my chat all the time. He plays games, like actual games. And my son has played a couple of games here and there. He plays all the Spider-Man games. He played the God of War games. He loved those. Other than that, it's just Fortnite. He's just playing it for Fortnite. So again, your friends, your ecosystem. I don't care what people say about the game library. I mean, I understand some of it, but I don't understand all of it.
It is a big pull.
Like,
your friends.
It's a pull, but like it's the friends. I think it's the friends first is like the bigger one, and who everybody else is in. I think that's the number one thing. The game library. I have 1,700 games on my Xbox. I don't care if they took them away tomorrow. I don't play them anymore. Like I don't go back and play Call of Duty Ghosts from 11 years ago or whatever. Like I'm done with it. Like so, like I mean, I have them. I mean, I would be sad to lose them. Obviously, I want game preservation. But I'm saying, in the grand scheme of things, to me, I'm going to follow the quality. I don't care where it is. If Xbox has got it, PlayStation's got it, Nintendo's got it, whoever's got it, I don't care. I'm going to.
I mean, right now they all have that. They all offer tons of quality games.
So that's why I have all three.
Yeah, Magnum says in the chat, PlayStation has had very little first-party exclusives these days. And you know what? It's actually probably in their best interest to have very few first-party exclusives from their studios that they have to invest in to try and make a return on investment. Because Xbox and PlayStation are not the same at all. They can't run business the same way. Microsoft needs first-party games because they're filling up an offering on Game Pass. So it's important for Xbox to have 4 or 5 first-party games every year from their studios, big or small. That's super important. Now, PlayStation doesn't have to have that. So I want to read these super chats.
For a different reason, Colt.
What's that?
Sorry, before you get into that, Microsoft is doing that. They're going to be releasing a bigger cadence of games for a different reason, and it's not to feed Game Pass. It's to open up the ecosystem. As I said, the play everywhere is going to be the big draw, and in order to do that, you have to have all your studios at full crank. Moving in, as I told you, once Project Lateral or whatever the hell it's called, Latitude came into play, they're not cranking out the sausage factory for Game Pass anymore. It's not the focus. That's not where the money is. They've realized that. They've realized that their mistake. And like I said, even the streaming wars, the only one that survived, the only one that's making money is Netflix. The rest of them are flailing. Amazon's losing millions of dollars, and they're doing that because they don't. Like I said, it's a draw to get them into the store. Microsoft is doing it because once they own the IP and they get 4 or 5 big games out a year, they're going to make a fortune on third-party sales, whether it's Steam, whether it's the Epic Store, whether it's on PlayStation, whether it's on Nintendo, and then of course, rounding up the rear, Xbox, and then everybody else on Game Pass to keep you in the storefront. It is a win-win-win on all battlefronts. You see this, like, if you pull yourself back.
You know what I was told yesterday is that
financially.
We don't know the profit, but Xbox makes more revenue than Nintendo. And so for all those people who think Nintendo is, or that Xbox is dying, or that Xbox is having a problem, Xbox is growing. I continually correct people when they say Xbox is dying because there's the narrow-minded look of looking at just the console platform as one revenue vehicle is so foolish because Xbox and PlayStation are the same in that they make money off of their games, other people's games, their console, and their subscriptions. All those are super important. The difference is PlayStation makes more money on their consoles than Xbox, but the other 3 avenues are largely the same, and they're both competing in that same market. Let me read these supers as they're piling up. We appreciate all of you guys for being here. You're amazing. Meg, you're on fire tonight. We got Kazum with the $2 that says, Merry Christmas. Appreciate you. Thank you so much from Brazil. We appreciate you as well.
Hey, Brazil.
Yep. Yes. Such a great group of fans over there in Brazil. Big Xbox teams. We got Grandpa's Barbecue Game Cat with the Australian 5 says, it's 10 a.m. on Christmas Eve here in Australia. I have a ham on the smoker cooking for tomorrow. Have a great holiday break, Colt, Mag, and chat. Thank you, Grandpa's Barbecue Game Cat. I'm also doing a spiral ham with brown sugar and pineapple because that's how I roll.
Yeah. I'm doing a ham and 2 full-size turkeys, 40 pounds of turkey.
You're a turkey.
And 2 hams. Yeah, well, I am a turkey, but I got a triple layered smoker out in the backyard that I could I could do upwards of like 5 full turkeys at once in there and everything else, dude.
Do you go out there with an apron on that says "Kiss the Cook," but the graphic is down at your waist?
Yeah, no. I usually go out there with with no shirt on, minus 20 outside with my
And
pepperoni.
galoshes.
And, oh no, it's Alex nipples and a beer and one of my cigars.
One of them's pointing magnetic north, the other one's pointing true north.
Exactly. That's
Absolutely.
right.
We appreciate you, Grandpa. True77, thank you for the $7.77 super chat. Get the smart. He says, Merry Christmas, Ecstasy crew. Hope everyone has a wonderful week. Peace and smiley emoji. Yes, thank you. I'm really looking forward to everything, man. Really looking forward to it. My good friend Game Seeker, thank you so much for the Canadian $10 super chat. Says, where is this Xbox holiday hardware announcement that Sarah Bond talked about this year? Colt, Mag, have a holly jolly Christmas and Happy New Year's. Ecstasy 2025 is going to be awesome. Yeah, it's going to be an amazing year.
We are going to have a holly jolly Christmas, and I could tell you, like I said, possibly keep your eyes open in January. All right.
Yeah, my take. That's Mag's take. My take is when she said the hardware announcement for holiday, they ended up pushing it up to the showcase for the digital Series X. If that's true, shame on you, Xbox. That was dirty pool. But maybe they're ready to announce something. Meg and I thought maybe this Surface, like non-Xbox, like mobile device would like materialize. Right. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. At this point, I think Xbox has a lot of stuff going on.
They're the next announcement. The actual console is not going to happen in the near future. Don't look for it. Don't ask for it.
I agree.
It's not coming for at least a couple of years. You won't even see it. Maybe even up to 3 years, you won't even see this thing. The handheld is the next to come out, and it's the next to be announced. Okay. I absolutely assure you.
Okay. All right. I mean, Xbox has a big
project.
It's Project
is the one that's
it's Project Charcuterie Board.
Yeah, it's Project Charcuterie. It's Project. What were the things at the strawberry milkshake? That's what it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, Herr Fireman, strawberry milkshake. Whom?
That's right, Project Strawberry Milkshake, ladies and gentlemen, coming soon.
You heard it here first.
Your living room near you.
Grandpa's Barbecue Game Cat. Thank you so much for the Australian $10 super. Says Mag and Colt.
Yes.
What's that?
I said he crushes it again with another one.
Crushing it, bro.
Sorry, what was he saying?
He says, Mag and Colt, with this new console, I wonder how they'll handle VR, Flight Simulator, VR on PC, not on Xbox, so I suppose would have to buy on PC, Steam, for VR to use on the new console. If this thing is more PC centric or PC supported, absolutely you'll be able to use VR on it. It's something Xbox should have done years ago. What's your take?
Well, I was going to say it's going to be a third-party peripheral that's already in the market. They're not going to get involved in VR at all. But it'll be a third-party peripheral that's already exists.
Okay.
I don't know if that's going to be 100% compatible, but I don't see why not. I mean, you should be able to pull up you'd be able to pull up your virtual desktop or a virtual dashboard. You know what I mean? Like you could do that right now with a MetaQuest. Like you could attach a MetaQuest to right. Yeah. You could attach a MetaQuest to your PC, and now you can even do it wirelessly, and you can access all your Steam VR games. So you could essentially be playing Half-Life Alyx on your Meta.
I need to sit down again and just talk with Game Seeker about what I need to be buying and doing on VR and like getting going the next level, because I want to do Fallout 4. I love Fallout 4 to death, and to live in that world and look around would be... Dude,
they have a Fallout 4 VR? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's been a thing for like 5 years or something. And
oh, crap, I had no idea.
It's on PC.
Listen, I want a PSVR 2, but I won't pay more than $200 for it because I'm looking for someone on Facebook Marketplace. I literally just want to play the Resident Evil games. That's it.
Oh, and maybe somebody else's face sweat secondhand. Love that.
Well, that's a kind of a thing. Yeah, I guess so. I'm gonna have to screen the buyer, the sellers first. But like honestly, man, I just want to play Resident Evil Village. Yeah, swab them. I want to play Resident Evil Village VR, and I want to play Resident Evil 7 VR with the upgrades, and then I want to play Gran Turismo, and that's it. But I don't want to pay more than $200 to do that, because other than that, I don't think that the support for or maybe Moss 2, but the support for the PSVR 2 has been actually pretty shoddy, because a lot of those games were like MetaQuest shovelware. Right, that got ported over, and I'm like, I'm not interested in that shit. Shish kebab. You know what? They really missed the boat. I'm telling you right now, they could have done smaller experiences. I've said it a million times, and it really upsets me. You had the chance. What would you feel like? Never mind like people's motion sickness. If you had a 2-3 hour Spider-Man or Miles Morales experience on the VR, and just watch you jumping off skyscrapers and doing whatever, or play a God of War VR, just a 2-3 hour thing, not the whole game, like just like a 2-3 hour experience or whatever else, and release those for like $40 or $30 instead of like $70, and have these smaller experiences of your first party titles. You buffoons, you had a chance. They did it with the Horizon series, but you had your chances with all those other IPs you have. Yeah, you're a fool, Potter. Yeah, clearly celebrity isn't everything. They had a chance, man. Anyway, sorry, I didn't want to go on a VR rant.
No, that's okay. I mean, it fits in there very nicely. Oh, that'll be clipped.
Mr. Potter.
So it fit in nicely, did it, Potter? All right, where was I? Oh, Risk It for the Biscuit. Thank you for the Australian 3.
Scumbag one. Yep.
Yeah, Risk It considers himself the last console purist next to Randall Thor 19. I think those two and Mag. Mag is a console purist.
I don't play on PC. I only play on console, and I will continue to do so. Next generation, I'm going to be playing on whatever Xbox there is. I'm not getting a handheld. I'll be playing whatever next Xbox there is. If I even need it, I might not even need it. I might be able to play it right off my monitor. Because, like I said, when I bought this fancy new monitor over here, the Game Pass Square showed up on the screen, and I'm like, how is it? I thought, and I'm like, how is it picking up my console? I haven't even attached it yet. And I'm like, oh wait, it's already there. If it's able to do that with like, you know, proper, like, you know, well, some kind of you know, proper 4K and good frames and whatever, I'm good. So I might not even do that. And then I play on the PlayStation 6 or whatever. And then Nintendo Switch 2, I'll just buy it and stare at it for 7 years like I did the regular Switch.
Oh, boy. Can't wait to run out and buy that thing and have just sit around.
I mean, honest to God, when I bought the Switch, I never even touched it. My kids play it, but that's it. I just stare at this very expensive console.
I don't see myself, and this is going to come off as fairly rude, but I don't see myself missing out on anything Nintendo has made over the past 10 years. I can't think of a game where I was like, oh my gosh, I have to play that on Nintendo.
I mean, I played that new Mario that came out last year, the one that was up for Game of the Year. What was that called? Mario Wonder?
Mario Wonder looked really great, but then I never felt compelled to even buy it.
Dude, I played it with my family, and there was never a moment where I wanted to actually fist fight my own family, except when I started playing that game, because you have 4 characters jumping around all over the place, and you can't move forward unless you all move forward. I thought you were going to
say, like, fight them to have a chance to play, but no, the whole...
No, like, actually just fight them because they were driving me insane. I'm sitting there, I'm playing this game, and I'm like, just jump in a block! Just jump in a block! And I'd be like...
You killed me, like, when someone pushes you off the screen.
Yeah, and then, like, oh my God, it was so irritating. Maybe it's better to play solo, but my God, playing with 4 people was like an exercise in insanity, I got to say. No, can't do it.
Udani says Mario Wonder was fantastic, and I know last year I was like, I gotta buy that, and I was gonna get it at Christmas. And Kirk Adams says Breath of the Wild is amazing. I know. Esquil Montes. I'm sorry, I pronounce that at all. Esquil. Thank you so much. Says
Ezekiel? Yeah, Montes. Yes.
Thank you, Mag. I appreciate you. Says you loved Astrobot, Cole. Yeah, Astrobot's awesome.
A great game.
Astrobot's amazing. And I tried to play Mario Odyssey, and I was like, that was like 2019 or whatever that was. I don't know. I don't know why I don't get it.
I played it for a bit. It's just, man. It's just like, I think I'm past it. I think I'm past the Mario.
I think the only game I've wanted to really, really play on Nintendo over the past 15 years was Super Punch Out. Because I'm like always a big fan, but I go through this whole thing where I'm like, Nintendo's amazing. They're going to do amazing things, and the Switch is going to fly off the shelves like nothing you've ever seen before. And I don't care. I don't want to play those games. Yeah, everyone's correcting me on the pronunciation. I'm an idiot. I appreciate it.
Ezekiel Montez said he goes, is correct. Wow. Ezekiel, I'm Italian. Italian and Spanish are so similar that like it's basically the same thing. Like I can go to South America or I can go to Spain. I can listen to people speak Spanish to me, except for in Brazil. They speak Portuguese. That's so hard to understand. But the other ones, I understand them perfectly. I speak in Italian. They know what I'm saying, and I know what they're saying. So it's all good.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Yeah, I appreciate you. One more we got from our good friend Boner Jams with a $10 super chat says, Here to publicly announce that Risk It for a Biscuit has been voted top male performer on YouTube and browsers.
No, he has not. No. That's an absolute lie. Nonsense. Top performer? Him? Have you seen him? Have you seen the shape he's in? He couldn't even run away from a two-legged croc. Or a one-legged kangaroo. No, I meant like the actual crocodile. He couldn't even run away from a one-legged kangaroo.
Which two legs is it missing?
Sideways, and
one on each side.
He would die. He would die of exhaustion after about like 10 meters. Do you even know what meters are?
In Australia, they use meters.
Oh, they use meters. Okay, let's go with yards. I don't know. Yeah, they would because it's the same as Canada. We use meters and yards up here, right? So you guys don't use the metric system.
Boderjan says, "What a feat and accomplishment! Merry Christmas, Colt and Mag. Hugs and kisses. Yeah. Hugs and kisses. We appreciate
hugs and kisses. That's lovely. Thank you very much.
That is very lovely. Yeah. So we were talking about the console. I don't know if you remember where you were at, but
yeah, options basically. It's just what we're talking about is that next generation for PlayStation, I'm going to continue to do what I was doing this generation. I'm going to buy a PlayStation 6, play games on there, and that's pretty much all there is to it. And then on the Xbox side of things, I have choices I can make. I can either buy a powerful console for underneath the TV. I can play directly off whatever monitor I have at that point, because I figure by 4 or 5 years from now, I'll upgrade the monitor. Even though it's like this thing is brand spanking new and powerful as hell, I'll still upgrade again because I could trade it in and get an even nicer one, an even more modern one. I might play it directly on there, or I might buy the console. Depends. And then, like I said, and those are the options. If you're on PC or anything else, the beauty is that you have that choice, this play everywhere situation. Game Pass is not going to be part of this play everywhere situation. This is the way when you purchase the game. The idea, and that's why I asked one of my people, I said, "What about Game Pass?" He said it's its own pillar. That's exactly what he means by that. It's going to continue to be its own thing. You either be in Game Pass and do what you're going to do and access it however you want to, or you can go this alternate route. The idea is that at the end of the day, Microsoft gets paid because that's all they care about. Okay, they don't care about anything else except for to get paid, and that's basically it. And they're going to release, as we said, probably twice as many games as Sony will. Sony will continue to money hat third party and do this and that, whatever, to bulk up their system, and that's their business practice. Let them do it. There's no point in crying about it. It just is what it's going to be. Microsoft, on the other hand, has a lot of studios, and they're going to start cranking out anywhere from 4 to 6 big titles a year because it's going to be people are going to be able to access it everywhere, and that was always the point. So in order to do that, you can't release 2 games a year. You got to double, triple, quadruple that. And again, it's not for Game Pass. They have walked away from focusing on I've heard some people that they say, "Oh, they got to crank out all these games to feed the beast." They're no longer interested in feeding the beast. Feeding the beast is just to keep. Like I said, Game Pass is to keep you in the store, keep you in their storefront, keep you paying for microtransactions on their storefront. They collect the money. They're interested in selling everywhere now, and that's where they're going to funnel the money and make all their money.
Yeah, and what Meg's saying is that, of course, the games are all coming to Game Pass day one. That's part of the whole thing.
They will. And
it's
just not their focus.
They are putting games to get them on Game Pass. What Meg's trying to explain is that there is never going to be a world where Xbox is focused on one thing. They did try to focus on just Game Pass when the console was failing to sell. Right now, they're looking at that 4-prong approach where they're like, we want to sell consoles. Phil said that selling consoles for Xbox is like an easy 20 to 30 million consoles sold. It's like a given. They're going to sell a certain amount of consoles, and those people will buy games, and they'll recirculate their money and help them build revenue. They'll also have Game Pass, which is making them $4 billion a year. They will not have to rely and lean on Game Pass as their only survival. And they certainly are not looking at Game Pass right now as their surviving thing. Their survival is a bunch of monthly active users on Xbox, buying the games, playing there, spending their money there. And what Meg and I explained about a half an hour ago is if Xbox can get more people saying, you know what, I'm investing my stuff here. Xbox gives me more flexibility and more choice. I have access to more power. I'm going to be full PC and I'm going to get the whole thing. Or I'm going to try one of these console hybrid things that like this console PC hybrid that, let's say Lenovo makes one and it's got the Steam OS. Xbox loads their Xbox UI. I was playing my ROG Ally today.
Yeah.
And it's so frustrating. It's got this thing called Armory Crate where it will load up a full screen thing for you. This is the biggest problem with handhelds right now, is that you've got the Windows thing underneath it, or the Steam OS. Not everything is like clickable and access by face buttons like you're used to with a console. And people don't understand how amazing it is to grab your controller and push a button, and you can get anywhere by flicking the sticks or clicking buttons. Like you're in and out of anything, store, games, party, all of this. And PC guys don't understand that this is what is so incredible about a console. Now that handheld doesn't do that. If Xbox can get their dashboard on it and you load that thing up, you've got SteamOS or Xbox dashboard, a new UI. And with, the buttons are out here and you can access and get to anything without trying to go, there's button combos on the ROG Ally. I know I might be spitballing for people who don't care or people who already know. They're like button combo, back paddle, and this button gets you to the dashboard so you can get out of your game and get to other things. Like having this all available to you, handhelds and a console hybrid right now, the way it is right now, they don't give you that full gaming experience that you're looking for. Like nothing is seamless. The future is a seamless, easy to use, extra powerful console or PC or even a desktop PC. I'm saying there's a lot to cover here. I'm saying a lot, but even in the future, your PC right now is already super easy to use. You need your mouse keyboard just very seldom if you don't want to, but the future is everything will be so easy to access and all of your games will be there, no compromise. And it's a future that is going to really shake up and Xbox have a major advantage if they do it right. My caveat with that is Xbox typically doesn't do things right when it comes to the console or the PC marketplace, and they have a long ways to go. Their Xbox PC app, I don't know why someone isn't in trouble being written up constantly like that. That should be an impeccable experience, and it isn't. So, but I think the future is very promising. Jez Corden also outlines in his article that there are many things that Xbox needs to do better. All of your games should already be available anywhere. There needs to be seamless transitions, and there need to get rid of the multiplayer paywall. Xbox is going to lose a couple $2 billion a year if they get rid of the paywall. But by rights, I don't care what you think you're going to lose. They need to eat it in the shorts right now. They need to be prepared to get rid of Xbox Live paywall across the board.
You know what the problem with that is, though? You've already introduced, by the way, before I even say anything, Colin Prime said in the chat, he goes, so MAGA saying Game Pass won't be available on handhelds. No, it absolutely will be available because these are going to be handhelds that are going to be tied into the Xbox ecosystem. So yes, you will be able to get that. And you're still being able to get Game Pass on PC as well. You're going to get Game Pass everywhere that you were able to access it, except for obviously on the PlayStation and Nintendo side of things, right? But you'll still be able to get it everywhere. What I was trying to say, never mind. We already. I don't have to repeat it. We already got it. What I was going to say, what the hell were we just saying? Now I forgot my train of thought.
About them getting rid of Xbox Live's paywall.
Oh yeah. That's going to be a problem. You know why? Because now they've already tied into it, and now it's synonymous with Game Pass Ultimate. So what are you going to do now?
They made a huge mistake making a new tier last year that included access to multiplayer. But
okay, so now what are you going to do? You're going to lower the price? Because they ain't lowering squat. I'll tell you that right now.
Jez said you can't offer a Xbox certified gaming console or gaming device and charge your customers on the actual official Xbox console to play online. You can't do it. It's unethical, is my word. It's ridiculous to charge the people who buy a $700 console every month to play online, and you let everyone else in the frickin' world play on your network, play on your games, your subscription service on PC, handheld, and console PC hybrids, and not pay for Xbox Live, but you charge your console owners. It's bullshit, and they know it, and it needs to go away.
Right, but what are they going to do now? Now they've tied it into this price, and let's say they go, okay, guys, all the online is now free, but you're still paying $20 for Game Pass. people are going to rip their faces off.
They can't, Mag. That what they have to do
what are
is
they
they
gonna
have
do
to
now?
They have to change the tiers again for next generation. And Microsoft and Xbox have no problem changing tiers on you over and over in one generation.
Okay, so
They've already done it. So
then
they just need to eat it.
Then what's going to be in the $20 range now? They're not going to lower it from 20 to 15. Not a chance.
That's a good point.
Hell. That's what I'm saying. So even if they get rid of it, there is no chance they're going to have it lower to 15.
Here's what they're going to say.
All right. What are you going to say? What do you think?
They're going to say we have more games than ever before from first party. There's more first party games in here, and we're keeping the price at $20, but we're getting rid of the paywall.
But then people are going to say, "What's the point? What was the point of doing that?" And they're like, "Well, I'm still paying for something I'm not getting."
It's the greasy Xbox / Microsoft thing that they're going to do. They're going to tell you you're getting all this when they should have got rid of it in the first place.
It's the public,
but we're going to bend over and take it because that's what other choice do you have? They need to get rid of the paywall, and if it means they just said, well, we're offering more games than ever before, $20, it gives you everything.
See, Malik's got it pretty much nailed to a T here. Yeah. He just says, sorry, my second screen wasn't. He's like, well, they should have thought about that before changing course for the 1,000th time.
Yep.
Yes, what Microsoft has been doing is they're experimenting with different things because they're doing things that are just not hitting. It's not hitting the quotas and it's not hitting the notes that they want. And so they keep adjusting ever so slightly. But the problem is they're doing it so publicly that it almost seems like they're running in circles. And they're basically like, all right, let's throw every strand of spaghetti on the wall and see which one sticks, right? And so that the perception of that is bad. So let's say they get rid of that paywall. They're not going to lower that price. People are going to be furious. So they're going to say, what the hell am I paying for? And you could say that. You could say the cockamamie thing of like, well, we got more first-party games than ever before. You could say all that, right? And Phil Spencer can come out. Well, Phil Spencer probably won't be there. But like they're going to do all that stuff. And, I'm being serious. He won't be there. He's gone. Yeah. And not for nefarious reasons. They're just going to retire him.
When they launch next generation, when we're talking, Phil probably bowed out as they launch it, and he'll be.
Yeah, he's done. He's already. They retire people. They basically force you to
out to pasture.
Yeah. So, anyways, the point is, see you down the dusty trail. Sorry, I've been watching Yellowstone for like 3 days straight. Anyways, the point is that that's what's going to happen. And so when the people are going to be outraged. So now you painted yourself into a corner. You get rid of it, but you're not going to lower the price. It's not going to work. It's like they're going to have to figure out some other way.
They'll probably remove one of the tiers and they'll have to figure out a way. There's got to be some way to do it, but the reality is that Xbox won't remove the paywall. That's my prediction. And I think Jez probably says the same thing. They will refuse to remove the paywall for console owners because it's an easy $2 billion a year that they just get for free just because we said so. Michael Mooney, thank you so much for the £5 super chat. Says SteamOS could be added to the Xbox Series S and X like the development mode and then runs Steam Deck's games. In dev mode, maybe. I don't know. I think the future of restricted plastic or restrictions, especially for even PlayStation, the future of this only does this is going to go real quick because the industry has changed so much where it's harder to make the money they used to, that they are going to make compromises on their side that benefit all of us and grow the industry and the games industry much, much bigger. Meg, I'm exhausted. It's been a great Christmas show. Thank you so much for being here. I've had a really great show, and thank you everybody for all of your support and for reaching out with so much great feedback in the chat. We really appreciate you, and everybody should be getting busy for their holiday season or whatever you're celebrating. We appreciate you so much. Meg, what parting words do you have for such a great show?
Oh man, it was a great show, everybody. The chat was on fire. We had a lot of people in here, a lot of faces, a lot of new faces in there to see as well. And we got to spill a couple of Christmas beans for everybody. So everybody got some new information going into the new year. So that's exciting, and I hope that was exciting enough for everyone. Everybody, if you're celebrating Christmas, have a happy, safe, and Merry Christmas for you, your families, your friends, and everybody. And listen, man, in the end, nothing matters about anything else. Gaming doesn't matter. Movies don't matter. Arguing doesn't matter. People screaming at each other don't matter. All the insults don't matter. You know what matters? Being with your friends and your family and spending that time with them. And I'm working every single day except for except for Christmas Day. I'm super busy because it all landed in the middle of the week and there's nothing I could do about it. So like I'm even working New Year's Eve. I'm working New Year's Day, really hungover, but I'll still be there. And I got to do what I got to do, man. You got to pay the cost to be the boss. So I got to do what I got to do. But either way, the point is, whatever time you do have with your family and friends, make sure it counts and make sure it's, and you know, that's what's important in this world. All right. So everybody enjoy. Have a great week. We'll see you guys all next week.
That was a really good speech, bro. I appreciate that. And we'll take a day or two off of console warring and argue with people about what resolution something is. And just have a good time with your family and just relax and, you know, try not to stress about stuff that you can't change. We have a good next year is going to be amazing. I hope everybody's happy and healthy. And if you aren't, I hope you get through it. Life is good. Life is good. And it's always getting better. Yeah. We appreciate you.
Tomorrow night, maybe tomorrow night after I'm done all my shenanigans with my side of the family, I might stream Mariah Carey tomorrow night without the emojis. I don't want to get slammed with another copyright infraction, but I might stream tomorrow night just for fun with the Santa hat on, and we'll do some Mariah Carey Fortnite for a couple laughs. If anybody's lonely or got nothing going on Christmas Eve, come hit me up, man. You can find me on my channel, The Mag Show, and you saw the links in the chat over there, and you saw the links in Cole's channel here. So you'll find me there, ladies and gentlemen. So and if you can't find it because it's hard to find because I'm still new, right? Just hit me up and I'll send you a link. But
yeah, it's in the description as well. And
all right,
I don't have upload defaults for live shows, but I'll try and remember to put that in there. But we appreciate you guys. Thanks everybody for checking out the video today and checking out the podcast tonight. This will be on demand on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. Is Google Podcasts still a thing?
Yeah.
Maybe.
We'll pretend it is.
Yeah, we'll just pretend it is. But we appreciate everybody for checking that out. You get video on Spotify. Hit the like button on the way out. And everybody, have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Mag, I'll talk to you later. Have a good week.
Man.
Stop working so hard and live it up, bro. Bye, guys. We'll see you.